Today we're going to cover what is an object in Salesforce and what are the different field types. And it's going to take a week time from now. That means 5 sessions for now to cover all the fields available in Salesforce. Okay, first let's log in to practice or. So if you have an idea about what is a database, so I'm just going to explain you the basic thing if you don't know what is the object and what is the database. So in a database, basically it store all the information. When we say org like a Salesforce, mostly what we'll save in terms of the records and a file. If it could be like any kind of a document or file or image or a video, this kind of a stuff will store in a database. So database is nothing but a space. What we see like the GBTBs of data, right? So it will store any kind of data. So okay, file, audio, video, image, these are like more common to us. But what is a record? So record means any piece of information that explains to our business. So let's say if you're saying an account means a company information. If you were trying to store the company information, so what are all the basic things? Company will have a name and it can be have a license, it can have an address, it will be having like a kind of a partnership. So we'll have the ratings, right? The company ratings and how many employees it's have, how much is the revenue, what is the growth when it started. This kind of stuff usually when you take any company, what is the company related information, a website, any links related to the company. So if you want to store any kind of a student information, what you will say, name of the student, if you have a surname, and you might have a phone number, you can have an email, you will have an address. I think if you have an address splitter, then address, you can say line 1 where you specify house number, street, like this, and then you can say a landmark, and then a city, and then a zip. So that would be a address combination. And let's say let's keep it for this, or you can say the school study. So like this is the what the piece of information you are going to store. So you will create an object called a student information, and these are all the things you're going to capture in your object. So what we'll do is, let's say for keep it simple or easy, I'm mentioning the serial number. Okay, first student. So I want to add all my details here like this. Yeah. Okay, let's say this is my information, what I have shared. Similarly, we have multiple students who will enter, or like we need to capture their information. Like that, you can have hundreds and thousands of records. So each row will be treated as a single record. Okay. So what Salesforce will, in Salesforce, what we need to do was, so entire this thing will be called as an object, and each column, what you see here, this going to be a column or a field in your object. So each column will be treated as a field in your object, and you're going to try to add one record. you're going to populate all this field information. It could be like a required field sometimes there will be some restrictions, like if you're getting an email, then there will be some restriction. You have to give a valid email address. Then if you're entering a zip, it has to be valid. You can add some validations to it. So to maintain a correct data, and sometimes you can make it required. Sometimes if it is zip, right, it should be a length of maximum 6. If it is a phone number, maximum is 10. Like some restrictions we need to add to maintain a quality of the data. And you can make sometimes required a name. At least I need a name to identify a student. So even if I don't have this information, at least I need a name to identify a student. So you can make it as a required. Required means to save the record, the user have to at least fill this required fields to save the record. Uh, so that's all background. So what is an object and what is a field in Salesforce? Now we already seen what is an object, how to create an object. Now we are going to use that object and create some more fields over there. And we will see what are all the fields available, and we're going to create some of them. And when we create a first field, you see all the navigation, and it will be common for most of the fields. So I have logged in. You know all what is log is. So we see these are the standard objects, and we have one custom object. What is the object we created last time? Remember? Project. This project. So I have set this project. Okay, I'm opening the object, and you see details. So all the things what you have opted while creating an object, all things will be available here. If you want to change any of this, you have to use the edit symbol over here, and you can change the options what we have done while you're creating. Okay. So if you want to change at any point of time, you have to use the details, and you need to change all this reports, activities, history, sharing, everything. So I have used the deployed one only, not in development. Okay, cancel. So all we're going to do is in a fields and relationships. Here is the place where we're going to create all the fields. Okay, good. Okay, so there are two things here. When we explain whatever here, like what are all the new fields we're going to see here. So these are all different types of new custom fields. The options are available. So this is not an option, it's the default one. You have to select any of the below to create a field. So we're going to cover today most of the simple fields, and from tomorrow we are going to dedicate things like lookup relation, master relation, and formula, auto number. These are somewhat having more complex than other things. So action lookup, these are somewhat really important and more things to cover over here. So we will start from here, and these are like straightforward fields, nothing to explain more, and it's mostly kind of self-explanatory. So today we are going to cover some of this below fields, and once we're done, then I try to encourage try to create some fields here on your own developer. Okay, let's start with the text field. So you see the title is, it is going to be a new custom field. How to create a new custom field we are doing now. So I'm going to start with the text. So it's going to be a raw text. When you create a field, when you open the record, you are free to enter a text like this. In Excel, you can type whatever you want, right? There's no restriction. You can enter whatever you want. So it's kind of a free text. Allows user to enter any combination of letters and numbers. So simple explanation. And what are the steps? First step, you need to select what are the type of the custom field. Then you have to select I'm saying the project name, or I will say the project lead name. So if you observe, it's automatically populating the field name. When you give the label name, it will automatically populate the field name. This is going to be used in a backend Salesforce. This label is used to display the field. Whenever you open the record, whatever the label beside your empty text box, what you see here is the label of the field. And this name is used in the backend where it stores the data in object. So in object, this is used as a unique combination of the field used in a backend purpose. And what should be length of the field? The maximum length is a 255 characters. You can give below 255 characters when you select a text field. So if you have any description, um, we'll add here. Okay, and help text. So this description will be useful who are creating the fields. That means the admins. It will be useful for the admin why we created this field, and if you want to give more insights, like if you're having any external systems that are going to use, then you can mention all of this information. Or like if you have any kind of requirements or email or a story numbers you want to mention, you can mention here so that it will help why we have created this field, what is the reference, who asked for it, and what's the approval we have got to create this field. This is all like for developer purpose. So what the description of the field you will be adding in a description. Help text. This will be end user perspective. When end users see that field, they don't know what is this project lead name, what I need to enter here. So you will be going to help that end user what is this project lead is. So here I'm just giving some random here. Enter